So, I don't know about you guys, but I'm a pretty big fan of the Far Cry series, and I've always thought ARMA 3 had the potential to do the same kind of thing. And, well, a couple of years ago, we got the outstanding Old Man Open World campaign, which was sort of getting closer to that, but it wasn't quite there yet. Well, just in the last week or so, a new Far Cry-inspired campaign actually popped up on the workshop called Deadzone Vietnam. And man, I clicked on that one so fast. And so that's what we're going to take a look at today. I've had a chance to play through the whole thing yesterday, but was it worth it? Well, guys, this is BillyEatWorld again, and let's find out. Alright guys, how you going? Welcome to the video, and like I said, today we are looking at Deadzone Vietnam, which like I said is a brand new open world dynamic campaign for ARMA 3. And probably the most important thing I want to point out about this one is that unlike Old Man, which was an official Bohemia interactive project, this one is actually developed by just one guy who goes by the name of Lola on Steam. And you would never know that from the way that this is presented. If you told me this was official content, I'd believe you, because this isn't just a random mission generator like a lot of dynamic missions are. This is something else. From the custom UI to the voice acting to the soundtrack, you can tell this has been designed to be an experience. Now, speaking of the experience, Deadzone is apparently influenced by games, like I said, like Far Cry 2, but also Stalker and Fallout 3, and I can totally get that. For example, it's set in Vietnam in 2040, in an alternate universe where the Vietnam War never ended, and maybe someone set off a biological weapon or two. Now, I don't want to spoil anything else for you, but it's got all of the elements you'd expect to see in a good Far Cry or Fallout game. You've got a bunch of warring factions fighting for control of the region, and you are a gun for hire that's caught in the middle. You can work for them or you can help to destroy them. Either way, they're just stepping stones on the way to getting what you want. Now, just before we go too much further, I probably should point out that when you think about Far Cry or Fallout, well, you're probably thinking about RPG mechanics. And look, I'm not going to say that Deadzone goes that far, but you definitely do progress throughout the campaign, and your enemies do as well. For example, the first thing you do when you start the game is you pick a background, like military or law enforcement, and that gives you some unique perks. And look, apart from that, there aren't any other ways to upgrade your skills later on down the track, but you will be able to unlock better gear as you complete more missions, and that kind of sort of simulates the same sort of thing. Now, I don't normally do this in videos, but the clips you're actually seeing in this one are arranged in order because I really wanted you guys to see how your character gears up and gets better as the campaign goes on. And in a nutshell, the way the system works is basically you can accept missions from an arms dealer called Kim, and when you complete those missions, you unlock better equipment tiers. Now, as well as that, completing missions rewards you with money, which you can use to buy that new gear from weapon shops. And honestly, I think when you combine both of those systems, a tiered level system with a currency system, it actually balances pretty well. Unless you spend a lot of time doing side quests, you're going to end the campaign with top level gear, but you won't have everything unlocked. And that means you'll have to choose what path you want to take. Now, speaking of gear, one thing I noticed that I thought was really clever is that enemies were equipped kind of like they are in Fallout games. And I mean that kind of on a design level. I don't mean they were all running around with power armor. I just mean that they were equipped with random gear from a tiered list system, kind of like the players get. And what that kind of means is that when the players gain access to better gear, the enemies unlock that gear as well and can randomly spawn with it. And in some cases, they actually spawn with gear the players can't access yet, which would be a problem except for one small thing. Like I said, in Deadzone, you buy weapons and gear, right? So just allowing players to loot bodies would basically ruin that whole system. So in this one, you can't actually loot enemies after you've killed them, or in theory, that's the way it's meant to work. Sometimes it does bug out and you can actually take gear off their bodies, but it's not meant to be that way. And look, I know a lot of people don't like restricting stuff in Arma 3, but I totally get that design choice. The only real issue I had with it was the enemies have access to weapons and gear that the players don't ever get access to. So hopefully at some point in the near future, more stuff will get added to the shops, so I don't have to feel bad about not being able to grab that cool gun that I really want from the enemy that I just shot. Now, obviously, Arma 3 is a combined arms game, so let's talk about vehicles. And, well, that's where I'd say that Deadzone Vietnam is a bit more true to Far Cry 2 and Fallout 3 than Old Man was. Because if you've played either of those games, well, you'll know they're pretty much strictly infantry only. There might be some light vehicles, but that's really about it. Now, I know that might be a bit disappointing to some people, but I've got to admit too many powerful vehicles was actually one of the main things I didn't like about Old Man. Once you found yourself an MRAP with a GMG, you could pretty much just breeze your way through objectives, and that's not what Deadzone is about at all. Now, the only criticism I've got on this one is that it would have been nice to see some enemy vehicles. I don't think I actually saw one the entire playthrough. Even if they're just armed jeeps or something like that, that'd be nice. Give me at least one thing that I can shoot with the Carl Gustav that I carried around for like half the game. And look, I should mention that I didn't play every single side mission. Maybe I missed a mission that had an enemy vehicle in it. I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments if you think I did. But I think I can feel pretty safe in saying that Deadzone only really had light transport vehicles. I didn't see anything else, so just bear that in mind if you love your vehicle gameplay. You're not going to find it in this one. Now, before we finish up, we probably should take a moment to talk about missions, because really at the heart of every good dynamic campaign is a random mission generator. And in a nutshell, there's nothing different about Deadzone. That's exactly how it works. You've got your main story missions and your missions to unlock weapons, but you can also take on odd jobs from the factions as well. Now, unlike Far Cry, for example, Deadzone splits up strongholds, safe houses, and fast travel points into 3 different things that you can go and find and unlock. Strongholds are fortified enemy positions that can be conquered for a bunch of cash. Safe houses can be liberated for a place to rest up. And fast travel points are obviously fast travel points in the form of bus stops located all around the map. Now, one thing I really would have liked to see, though, is some kind of reputation system for the factions. One minute I could be shooting them, and the next minute I could go and take a job from them. That's a big deal in games like Fallout, right? And it also kind of makes each playthrough a little bit different depending on the faction that you choose to align yourself with. Now, also, I can't forget to mention that there was actually also a disguise mechanic in Deadzone, even though it really only came in sort of like the last part of the campaign. So once again, hopefully we can just see a bit more of that mechanic in future updates, maybe in relation to all of the factions. It was really nice to have the option to stealth your way through objectives if you wanted to. Now, to finish up, I just want to say a big thanks to Lola for answering some of my questions about his game mode, because he actually cleared up quite a few things that I wanted to talk about in this video in terms of future development. And first up is that the story of Deadzone is, quote, strictly set in Vietnam. So there isn't any plans to bring it to more maps in the future. And also, there's no plans to make it into a co-op game mode. Also, I should mention he confirmed there is definitely plans to expand on the list of available gear at shops, and that will include modded content as well. And so far we know that there will be support for cup weapons at the very least, but no word yet on whether other mods are going to be supported as well. Now, speaking of mods, well, the first thing you're absolutely going to need to run Deadzone is the Prairie Fire Created DLC. And as far as I know, the campaign also uses content from Apex and Contact, so that shouldn't stop you from playing it. You'll just have to deal with those little watermarks you get if you try and equip that gear. Now, in terms of third-party mods, though, well, I personally tested Enhanced Movement Rework, and Advanced Urban Repelling, and they all seem to work really good. But I should mention that ACE is officially not tested. It might work, it might not. And also, I probably would recommend that you steer clear of AI mods like VCOM or LAMS, because just knowing how some of these missions work, there's a good chance that they're going to break them. So all in all, yeah, Deadzone is pretty damn impressive for something that's not only made by one guy, but is also available for free. I mean, yes, it's got some flaws and it's ARMA, so it's got the occasional bug as well, but nothing too major that stopped me from getting through the whole campaign. Is it as good as Old Man? Well, look, I mean, it's not made by Bohemia Interactive. It's probably not going to be as polished, but I'd say it comes pretty damn close. So yeah, super easy decision on this one. It's absolutely worth it, I think. You guys should definitely give it a try, and I'll leave all the links down below in the description if you want to head over and take a look for yourself. But anyway, guys, that is just about it for this review. So as always, please let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And of course, just remember that I can't possibly cover every little detail in one video. So if you think I've screwed up and I've missed something, leave it down in the comments so that everyone else can see. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and check out the links on screen now and in the description if you want to check out any more of my videos. And also don't forget you can find my Twitter and Discord links down there as well if you want to keep in touch. And until next time, see you later and have a good one.